Welcome back to Video Head Cleaner. My name is Tommy, and this is our review of Fatal Attraction, and this is part 3. We have a lot to talk about for this film, and so here we go. Part 3.
You know, and that's I'm glad you brought that up about the character Beth. You know, and when Danny is revealing that he had an affair, it's her that asks, "You had an affair?" Because he won't say it. It's left to her to say it. And just once again, just Danny's what a schmuck. He couldn't just say, "Beth, I had an affair." He had to kind of goad her, like tease her into saying it, and then he confirmed with the implication that if she hadn't said it, he wouldn't have confirmed it. It's like, oh my god, like what a lawyer to the end. Just god damn it. So it's just like, yes, Beth, strong character, and again, I throughout the film I was rooting for his family. I don't know if I was rooting for Danny though.
But we needed that from Beth though, because Alex had the power, and then once it's revealed and Beth knows, Beth could have, and this is again probably with the directing too, and then her as the actress, that line could have been delivered in lots of ways. "I'm gonna kill you," blah blah blah. No, she got it. She said it calmly and hung up, and that made the difference. That probably made the audience clap and go yes, because she said it calmly, like, "Bitch, I'm not even going to yell at you. I'm just going to tell you right now, like the way it is." And that's what made it work.
No, if that line was delivered with sass or anger, it would have been.
She just said it because she meant it.
Yeah.
And that's all she had to say.
Yeah.
And then she just hung up. Didn't wait for a response, nothing. I'm just telling you what's going to go on. Bam.
Then he's gone, and what we see next is her essentially crying in the car, going to pick up Ellen from school, and then finding out Ellen has been kidnapped, which gives her more reason to cry in the car, frankly. If you needed more. But poor Beth, you didn't do anything to deserve this, frankly. But,
So
neither of you have seen Righteous Gemstones, have you?
Just I think the first episode. I think the first episode.
The funniest fucking character in the show, called Judy Gemstone, and she has a monologue in the first season where she goes off about how she just loved her teacher and had a whole snail trail and made all of her chairs damp when he was in the room and they made out once or something. I don't know. But after that, when he was like, no, I have a family and a child and I can't be with you. You're like a 15-year-old girl or something. She kidnaps his son and then takes him off, and then it was just like, we were having a great time, and then all of a sudden the police come up and take him away from me, and they say I can't see this guy anymore. And it's a very funny fucking moment.
Oh my god, I bet that was inspired by Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction moment.
Because this whole Fatal Attraction, because Alex has picked up the child now. Like, Alex is taking old Ellen to a theme park type something. Yeah. And it's definitely the thing running through my mind.
Oh God, what a again. Said this a million times. What a great scene. But oh my God. Again, and I keep hammering away at this point. Just something that could just be read in two wildly different ways. We have what might be going through Alex's mind, which is I'm gonna get to know my beloved's child, and the child's gonna get to know me, and we're gonna hit it off, and I'm gonna be this child's new mother. Won't that be sweet? And so let's go to the park.
That's not it.
Yeah. Well. Again, with Alex, it's both. It's both menacing and very aggressive and very threatening, but also oddly sweet and endearing, and it's simultaneously those things.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's the crazy part. Yeah. Because right now, it's after what was it? What was the last crazy thing she did? It was the bunny. The bunny. Yeah. So now. She did that, and now, now the wife knows. So game over for her. Yeah. So now she's no longer, in a way, concerned about him liking her again. She's now going into psychotic mode.
Yeah. She's no longer trying to lure Danny. She's going after the wife now. It's like she's going after the wife's position before ultimately just coming after her directly. But she's trying to take the wife's position as mother.
Yeah.
In a very just crazy and aggressive and psychotic way.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely, yeah.
She wants to mess up.
Thing
Yeah.
here. This
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
is wild, where she's like, "I'm your mother now," and she's like, "Can I have a kiss at the end?" type stuff, which is dropping her off.
Well,
it's like, ooh.
Yeah, and in just grand symbolic fashion, I mentioned how I felt that Ellen, the child, had a haircut very similar to Danny's, right? That they looked oddly similar. They kind of dress oddly similarly, and in this very odd way, Alex is taking Ellen on the wild ride that she's been taking Danny on. Like, Ellen is on a roller coaster, and it's like, oh, cool, a roller coaster, but she has no idea how crazy this ride really is.
Yeah.
She has no,
Yeah.
again, something objectively happening in two entirely different readings of it.
Yeah.
It's like she has no idea how crazy what she's in is, kind of like Danny, like this whole time.
That's another brilliant thing about the writing in this movie is, she could have easily gone and grabbed Ellen and like kidnapped her and yelled and done all this stuff, but no, all she did was she went and picked her up and took her in an amusement park and let the madness happen just by her being gone. It is so simple and psychotic.
It's chilling too, because
Yes.
like, what, is she gonna do anything to that child? No, she didn't do anything to that child. Like she took her to have a fun time, but it's still chilling. Like it's just still terrifying.
Like, is she gonna throw her out of
out
of the roller coaster? Is she gonna
Just that she again is either utterly immoral or just amoral, because she's crazy. She either is just hateful and has no problem kidnapping a child, or she's just delusional and she thinks that this is truly an endearing gesture, and it's just, I don't know which would be worse. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
It's also a great 80s moment when they're like, oh, we don't have like records or photographs of who should pick up a child.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What a different time. Hi, I know this child. Give them to me.
Sure.
Positive that you picked her up already, and the mom's like, I did not, and the teacher's like, are you sure?
Are you sure though?
She said she was Mrs. Whatever.
Because someone just told me that they were you. Are you sure that wasn't you? Are you sure?
Yeah. And again, the moment she finds her missing and she's running through the school hallways to look for her, the camera cuts back to the people watching her run, and they're all dark and silhouetted.
Yeah.
It's just another haunting scene of, she's lost and
she's alone.
Yeah, she's alone.
She's alone, and everyone in her life that she cares about is suddenly gone. Her husband and now her child. And she's just running about town wild and crazy and in a panic.
And gets in an accident.
Yeah, because that's what happens.
She
the roller coaster girls are having a great time, whereas Beth here is looking frantically side to side. Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? And then rear-ends somebody at a red light.
Yeah, but she almost, in a way, gets Madame Butterflied. Her child goes somewhere else, and she almost dies. That's the basic outline of the end of Madame Butterfly, except it's not suicide. She didn't die by her own hand. So it's
commit seppuku by Cadillac or whatever.
So it's it's like Alex almost made the ending that she wanted happen, almost, but it didn't happen according to the movie, and so it's like it was like an imperfect instance of it, and so so it didn't quite happen. Got close.
Again, she probably wouldn't have gotten Dan ultimately, but in her mind, she's like, if I make this happen, then this will happen next, and something, and so
she's clearly intelligent, because I guess this would be a step-by-step plan to make all this happen. I guess
I saw her. She takes the daughter, and she's like, whatever happens when they're out there trying to look for her. If they get hurt or not, I don't care.
Well,
but I'm just gonna take her and bring her back.
And perhaps to her, the only person who would be hurt by that would be the other woman.
Yeah.
Because hey, Danny's in love with her, clearly, and the child will clearly love her, because clearly, and so again, this other woman was supposed to have Madame Butterflied themselves already, so. Yeah, but again, that's just even more chilling. So it's just, either way, it's chilling, either because she doesn't know what she's doing or she very much knows what she's doing. So, So, but
I mean, it's very it's a power play, and Alex,
Yeah,
she does a lot of
yeah.
power plays throughout this type thing, especially. I mean, when I brought up the "give me a kiss" type thing, it's like it's not actually employing violence most often. She has been shown to employ violence from time to time to date in the movie, but she's really getting under people's skin and like doing these with like subtle power plays. And again, not really being illegal mostly.
Yeah.
Kidnapping, kind of illegal. We'll file that under a gray area.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the 80s schools, maybe should have been a little more.
I don't know. I don't know. See, I don't know if that's a gray area. This is again like the trajectory that she's getting ever
I
more.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the kidnapping, I think, is
Ever
the
more
first time.
overt. Yeah.
Where she's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To the point of the movie, this is where Dan is like, oh, fuck no, like, you don't kidnap my child. And this is where I believe the second part happens, where he is now back at Alex's apartment.
Yes.
The key is missing. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
It's not there this time.
Yeah.
She knows.
Yeah.
Let us protect myself.
Again,
because I am playing games with somebody.
She is not unintelligent. She is not unintelligent.
Yes. So he's waiting outside the
Hmm.
building, waiting, just kind of walking around, waiting for someone to walk out. And the moment a group of
Slips
people,
in.
he
And
slips
that,
in.
speaking of silhouettes, I don't think they actually show Michael Douglas' face in this. It is a very dark scene where he slips in.
he is stalking her this time.
Because she just messed with the family, and Beth got hurt.
Yeah.
So he is pissed off like he has not been pissed off before.
Yeah. Well, in some way, it's a great moment of inversion. His infatuation with her was about, I would argue, her regarding him as a man, as a passionate man, and now here he is very much as a passionate man, but it's on totally different terms. Like just the situation, it's kind of the same for him, but also no, it's not. It's utterly different now. He's stalking her. She's locking her door, trying to keep him out. She doesn't know that he's coming and is like right there. Like it's like he's now the threat, or I would say almost. Like we think
It's
that
true. I mean,
maybe
shows that he is not quite to her extremes, I suppose. Because
yeah.
he pulls back at the end ultimately.
Yeah.
Whereas she has been balls to the wall. I'm going to commit fully to this.
Yeah, he knocks on the door to lure her, which again he's luring her now.
But also keep in mind, all she knows is I picked up the little girl and I dropped her off. Things happened and they're probably pissed off.
Yeah.
She doesn't know that the wife's gotten hurt. She doesn't know that he's that pissed off. She knows he's upset, but as far as she knows, nothing happened except for, oh, she's back now. It was that crazy bitch. And that's all she's thinking.
Yeah.
So he slips in. Yeah.
Well, not so much. Basically knocks on the door to lure her to the door, and when the chain has a door chain on, she opens it to peek,
and then
like, bam!
Pounds on the door, throws her back. He pounds on it again, and finally breaks it open, and that's when the melee begins. As
chasing her, he's joking around and stuff. Yeah,
they're.
And then she's like harder.
Yeah, she.
Well, he has his life in her hands like several times, but ultimately can't go through with it.
Yeah, they're all going all over the place. They're throwing each other about. They're fighting, but he finally gets his hands around her neck and is trying to throttle her and strangle her, and has a absolutely crazy look on his face.
Oh yeah, so I have to say, this was the first movie that I had ever seen where I saw grown ass adults like wrestling around frantically, kicking their feet and their hands to get away from each other because they're trying to kill each other. Like I had never seen that before, and I was just like, oh my god, because when he pushes that door, I mean, he just waits. He goes and rings the doorbell and just waiting because he's already like getting his body ready. The moment she just opens it up, boom, before she can think, pushes her back. And like you said, she's scrambling and she keeps getting away. She's kicks him in the balls. He's grabbing her. There's windows being broken inside.
Yeah.
It's just a frantic mess. He grabs her head and smashes it up against, the glass.
Yeah.
All of this until they, end up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
He's choking her. And that's the moment that he can actually kill her. And he's like, she is not worth it. I'm not going to go to prison for this, is what
Well,
I'm thinking.
I mean, like, again, he can't take himself to the place that Alex does almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this, he has a moment of clarity and just
Like,
realizing
what am I doing?
once again, oh my God, what's happening? Kind of like in the elevator where he just has this look where it's just like, oh my God, where am I? What am I doing? Like he kind of has that moment of again with a moment of passion with Alex. He's once again realized just like my God, what have I become? Like who am I? Like who am I?
Toxic.
You know?
They've both gotten toxic.
It's very much that, because he's like on top of her, choking her when he's like having these realizations where he's like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I was just having a good old time. My dick said, hey, let's go do this and stuff.
But also again, as was established early in the film, he does not practice family law, and in a primordial sense. Like if you're a man and a husband, you defend your family. That is family law.
Yeah.
That is primordial family law. And even in this moment, he just can't quite go all the way through. He can't just kill her and finally protect his family.
Right.
He just
he loosens it up, and she's coughing, he's coughing. She goes to the sink and starts drinking the water out of the sink.
yeah.
We see a knife. It's like a Chekhov's gun, or knife in this instance. Chekhov's knife. And like Jan's sort of like going to leave, but Alex like grabs it and is like, "Rah, I'm gonna stab you in the back," and dude ultimately wrests it from her and is like, just like, no, let's not do that. But there, and I have this written down. I said it worries me because Dan wrests the knife away from her, has his fingerprints on it, and just like sets it on the counter. And there's this whole like minute long, if not longer, I feel like silence laden scene where he's got the knife, he sets it down, he and Alex are making eye contact, and there's this whole unspoken like thing happening in 60 seconds where he's just like, he does come to these realizations. He's like, what have you driven me to? I'm going back home. I'm never coming back to you. And all this is wordlessly said type shit where Alex is understanding, like, what have I driven you to? You're probably not going to come back to me type shit. Like, it's a very...
Again, I got to disagree with that.
Go ahead. Absolutely disagree with me. I just think there's a lot said in these silences. Or like,
and her face in that scene, I use it as my banner during Halloween, and I say "Happy Halloween," where she just has that look after he's wrestled the knife away from her.
Interesting.
Like, she's lost it. She is.
For me, Daddy. Go on. What do you?
Yeah. So what do you think?
I honestly, I think they again. I'm becoming a broken record. It's one of these things where objectively they have the same experience, but they totally read it in different ways. They're both basically thinking to each other, "You just won't quit," and Danny is thinking, "Jesus, woman, you just won't quit, will you? You are crazy. You're crazy." Mm-hmm. And Alex is thinking, "You won't quit me. You won't quit me. You even now, you've proven that you won't quit me. Like you didn't kill me. You still won't quit me."
Which is reference another line that comes up with the movie. Like but it's very interesting because I mean I even have in my notes like he can't seem to find the words to say what he wants to say to her, and vice versa. Where I think that's very akin to this, or like sort of going with that theory of like. Yeah. He thinks one thing. He's like, wow, you're fucking crazy. I'm leaving. I'm not going to murder you, but you're crazy. And she's like, oh, you're so dreamy. Well,
yeah.
It's like, he didn't murder me. He loves me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shit like that.
Throughout this film, words have failed. Throughout the film, they keep talking past each other. They keep saying the same word, and it has totally different meanings. Words, and these are two very literary people. Their careers are about words, and words have just failed them both. And at this scene at the end, they're just wordless. They have no words anymore.
So and I kind of agree with both of you when it comes to like what they're saying when they're walking away, because I agree that he's like, you have lost it. He's thinking in his mind, you have lost it now. I'm never coming back. I want nothing to do with you. And in her head, she's thinking, oh, yeah, no, it's not over. It's not over, and you know it.
Yeah.
and
this
I'm
proves
in
it.
heaven.
You could have ended it in the most definitive way possible.
And that's why she's smiling, and she's just going, do whatever you think you're going to do, because we're going to end up here again.
Yeah, her look is one of pure love, and it's so creepy because
Very
it's
interesting,
in that moment that she has that look, and it's wild-eyed as much as it is dewy-eyed. It's just,
But also,
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, she's still certainly got a lot of that. Yeah,
and it has some
passion, all these things in her and stuff. Like,
sadness is on her face too, because she's smiling, but
Yeah.
it's got a sadness to it too.
yeah.
So she's just lost it. At this
Again,
time.
it's all these things simultaneously because
Yeah.
she's just that complicated.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he leaves.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
so
Puts
this
the
is
knife
where
down.
He's gone. He literally. This is like a 2-minute scene of the silence from the back out. Like he's like slowly backing out of the apartment type stuff. But after that, this is when he goes back to the useless policeman. Hello, I would like a police, please. And the policeman's like, whoa, calm down. And he's like, hang on, like, I would like a police. And he's like, they're like, well, did she do anything? And he's like, I mean, kind of. Like, she did a kidnapping and a tiny murder and all this stuff. And he's like, I guess we'll bring her in for questioning. And he's like, will that help? And he's like, probably not. It's like,
Probably gonna make
it's
it
just a
Worse.
Very frustrating scene with the police. Dan is like, will you help me? And the guy's like, probably not. That doesn't sound like us. Like, probably wouldn't do that. But
Well, and again, it's just it's the limits of the law. You know, it's just that Danny can't keep dodging. The police can't really help him. It's not that they don't want to, but it's
he just didn't seem to give a fuck though. Like we watched this like right 10 minutes before we started recording this, the ending, and it was purely as if the cop was like, well, she's not stalking me and my family. Like he was like, that doesn't seem like my problem.
Well, I will say, unfortunately, from experience in my past, when there are big disputes or arguments or fights in relationships, the cops. You pretty much have to be stabbed in your neck before they step in, because of the whole thing where they, arrest him, he's trying to kill me. And then when they're going to arrest him, they're like, no, but I love him. It's because of those people.
yeah.
It's like, so if it's a domestic dispute, they want nothing to do with it. What? He beat the crap out of you? Tough.
Yeah.
Because you won't arrest him. You won't press charges.
And one has to imagine that's probably the cop's perspective. Is just like,
Yeah.
oh boy, some more domestic drama.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So I understood it. I'm like, oh yeah, I get the cop. I totally get where the cop's coming
I
from.
don't get it in that sense. Like, I mean, because it's a very he said, she said type thing, and they're reluctant to insert themselves and whatever. And it's like, you have to give me something. But also, I mean, to that point, he couldn't connect Alex to the tiny furry murder on his scope necessarily. Or the car wreck was not Alex's fault necessarily or something.
Right.
It's a
The
very
kidnapping,
hard to
though.
pursue legal recourse aside from the kidnapping, which I don't even know if they necessarily got her with that. It's not like everybody had ring cams back then. It's like Ellen could be like, "That's the lady," but that's the '80s justice you get. Like that's all you have. The '80s
Yeah.
for a hot
No,
murder because they were like, "Well, shrug our shoulders." Like,
Because I think that's why the cop says at that moment and that second visit to the cop, when Michael Douglas says, "Hey, she was kidnapped. That there's something there." That's when the cop says, "All right, we'll bring her in. We'll bring her in. We'll question her.
Right.
We can't do anything, but we'll
almost
question."
reluctantly.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
fine.
Yeah, so I think, but that's what it was. If it was anything else, he probably would have said, you can't prove it. But the school being able to witness saying, Miss Gallagher did not pick her up, somebody else did, and this guy is saying that it's her, we'll bring her in for questioning. We can't say she did it, but we'll bring her in for questioning, and that's when he's satisfied. He's like, yes, bring her in.
Well,
if
but also-
she comes in here, you'll see she's nuts.
But also, the cop ominously declares, "Well, we could, but you might just piss her off even more."
Yeah.
So,
And then there's a really great line where he says, I forgot what he says, and the guy's like, hey, he he slept in, or you made the bed. Now you got to sleep in it.
Well, he was trying to describe it as his friend or whatever, the classic, like,
Yeah.
my friend did this, and the guy was like, well, your friend made his bed, he's probably lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is true, because I'm sure the audience is thinking that too. Dude, this is, you caused this. You had a say in this. You did that at the very beginning of the movie. You're paying for it.
Yeah, and again,
You have to
this
for it.
film with its wonderful double wordplay, there was a scene earlier when he was lying, as in not telling the truth in bed, where he's in his suit rustling the bed to make it look like he was in it.
Yeah.
He has done that, and now he gets to do it again. Yeah, God, this script and just all the wordplay, like just brilliant.
Twisted by my own petard. So Dan goes home and he tells Ellen he'll stay with her forever, which I took to be very ominous. I was like, child or father will die in this movie when that was like said, because I had not seen this. Again, this was a blind spot in my 80s. Where I was born in '88, so this was made when I was -1.
I think it was released the year before.
It was.
Yeah.
I was -1 in this movie. That's not a brag. That's just that happened. So, and I grew up in a very Christian household. I did not see R-rated movies for like 16 years. So
Oh, wow.
This was not a.
Wow, that would make you as old as Alex Forrest was in the film. Oh my God! Anyway,
You know what this my first R-rated movie was?
what was it?
It was, I'll give you a quote from it. Get off my plane. Stuck in Harrison Ford, Air Force One, pick somebody off.
Oh my God.
And I think she was the vice president of that movie, actually, Glenn Close.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Actually, yeah.
See, if I knew you back then, I'd have said, "Oh, I'm going to give you your first R-rated movie. You're watching Showgirls."
I bet Israel was.
Oh my God.
So he's back. He dotes on his little wounded wife, going to get her tea as a hot bath runs. This whole thing is shot very horror movie-ish. This is very psycho, shower, I mean, the knife even type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's very slow build too, because it's like,
Because we know it's coming.
we know it's coming. We know Alex
Something.
is coming back, but it's like we're all hugs and hot baths, and oh my God, thank God that's done. And he's like checking the front door lock, and he's like, "Whew, locked." Like, but then as he's like going to get her tea in the kitchen, he sees the side door's unlocked, and he's like, "It's weird. I'll just lock that up or whatever." But surely that's not anything odd.
Yeah.
And anytime someone puts on tea is a bad sign. It's always a bad sign, because you know it's going to.
And he's just like milling about downstairs. So he's got his like hands clasped behind his back by the fire as the tea goes and shit. Like Beth's upstairs being like, "Ah! Ah!" And he's just like, "That's weird that my ceiling's leaking."
Yeah. You had also made a comment before about what is he eating or something. Do y'all know what those are?
What? Wait.
Remember, he pulls something off.
It's like fruit roll-up.
Fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll-up. Yeah.
Those are fruit roll-ups. Those are very popular.
Oh yeah. I love fruit roll-ups.
But,
Oh my God.
But like he's also like a man, like a 40-year-old man. So I'm like, is he having a fruit roll-up
Well,
in the kitchen?
again, they keep equating the child and father. They keep doing it, and once again, once again, yeah.
Very true. Because I'm like, this man. It's like there's like 5 minutes in this movie left, and he's like chomping a fruit roll-up.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't. And it's not accidental. Again, just they're still problematizing his masculinity, like up until the very end of the film.
But you're absolutely right. Like with the beginning of this scene, after he goes to the cops and they're like, "Yeah, we'll bring her in." The very first part of the next scene where they're at home with all of this, sweetness, is he's on the phone with the cops and he's like, "What do you mean you can't find her?" And you're like, "Oh, good Lord, here we go." Yeah. And then everything is calm. There's no musical score.
Yeah.
There's no music whatsoever.
Water
running.
But again,
quietness.
there's disturbed water. Her element is manifesting again, like a bleeding wall or an animated shadow.
And it's setting it up nicely because, like, you had missed it the first time. You said he opens the drawer, there's a gun.
Yeah.
There's for a brief moment, a Chekhov's gun literally flashed.
They flash a gun real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Beth is getting the bath ready with lots of steam. He's going upstairs and he's on his best behavior because, of course, he's like, she's back, because this is the first time like she's home
back from the hospital
now.
after
gotten back to it and
the car wreck.
So he's like, anything you need, a tea and pain
He's
pills.
downstairs for a while though. Alex is upstairs first, so Beth is like doing like, oh my god, what a fun bath, and she's like clearing off her steamy mirror, and then all of a sudden like, oh, like what an iconic shot, like with fucking Glenn Close out in the background.
Yeah.
And she's kind of standing there with a really like disturbed expression, like in a look I've not seen since like the guy in like The Sixth Sense, like first scene or something, or what, where because she's not quite in like underwear or anything like where he is in The Sixth Sense type something, but it's a very like, I'm mentally ill and you should be concerned about what might happen next.
She's like, she's not in her 90s. It's not a gown.
It's white.
But it's like a I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's a very simple, almost pure garb. It's white, almost like a wedding dress,
and it's almost like see-through.
Honestly, that's almost what I've described as a wedding dress, because it's not a slip, it's not like a dress, like it is a very.
But she looked like she put it on in New York and ran to the house. That's how haggard she looks in it. And we see a close up of her feet, and they're all dusky, like she's been.
They're like zombie,
like outside,
outside in the wild, not just outside, but in the wilderness.
And like Alex has the knife. Like whenever Beth turns around, it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like there's somebody behind me. Like Alex has the knife. She has weird body language. Like she's kind of holding it down, like in a very almost nervous, awkward way.
She's not wielding it like a weapon, but it's on her like an affliction.
Well, not yet. He's talking about when she first arrived.
She's like this, right down, like with where she's holding it, and she asks Beth, like essentially, she's like, "Why are you still here?" Which is a fucked up thing to ask somebody's wife, like in their own house or something. Yeah, but like,
and again, this is just like you point out, the way that she asks it, it implies that this is Alex's house, and Beth was told to leave some time ago and is still lingering, which of course is crazy, and as the audience, we of course realize why this is just nutty, but Again, it's brilliant. Her element has filled the bathroom. It's steam and heat, and of course, and so just by that logic, of course, she's curious as to why Beth is here. Her element is here. Mm-hmm. She has manifested in the house. Why is this other woman in her domain?
And with all of her antics, she was probably hoping that Beth would finally be like, you know what, this is crazy shit that you caused. I'm leaving.
Yeah. It's like I've already introduced myself to the child. I've already replaced you as the mother. Yeah. Why are you still here? And probably to Alex, it's both a menacing question and also an honest question. Like it's simultaneous.
Well, it's very honest, because the next thing she says to her is something in that line. He tried to say goodbye to me last night, but he couldn't, because he and I feel the same way about each other. And
according to her perspective, that's totally true.
Kind of like he didn't murder me. He tried to choke me out. He failed to say goodbye to me or whatever. It's a very fucked up perspective and statement line on it.
Yeah, it's logically consistent though, and that again. It's her perspective, and it's oddly enough a valid perspective. Like oddly enough, yes, I guess, yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
So Alex kind of pins her in a corner with a knife and is kind of monologuing at her and is like, but she's cutting her own skin. Alex is literally cutting her own thigh to the point where it's dripping down on her fucked up feet or whatever's happening down there.
Alex has only been able to harm herself to this point, and she, the times when she tries, when she is in a physical altercation with Danny, it's usually oddly enough self-defense, strangely enough, but she
did try to attack him in the kitchen, failed against Danny, who is not, as we've seen, not the most potent man in existence, and so it's almost like, did she want to kill him? And I don't know. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she was just lunging at him dramatically. Again, we're presented with all these moments where it seems like what's happening is how we think that it is happening, but we're just not 100% if we're honest with ourselves about it. And it's like maybe she wasn't trying to kill him.
She could have pulled her punches.
And so up until this point, she is only even kidnapping Ellen, she's harming herself. She's never been directly attacking Beth. Even the car wreck wasn't direct.
Something coming up I want to discuss, but it's very true because she I called this out and we watched it just a bit ago, and I noted on my own when I watched it, they're both in white. And at this point, Alex kind of starts just stabbing her in a corner, but they both really come out unbloodied. It's only Alex that has been bloodied or stabbed or injured to this point. They really make a point of Beth being held up and almost like impenetrable, impregnable, like I'll get to why, I suppose.
I think narratively and kind of like a narrative logic, Alex cannot assail Beth just by the structure of it. Beth never compromises her virtue. She never problematizes her place as a good woman, and so by virtue of that, she cannot be harmed.
Yeah, and I think the lack of blood had to do with from seeing it from another perspective. She's cutting her thigh, but it's not like super deep. There's some blood that's falling down, but it's like from her thigh down. So there's a tiny bit on the knife, and then when she's stabbing Beth is protecting herself with her cast. Yeah. So at the end, when you see,
I know her arm was inflamed.
Yeah, when you see her shoot at the very end, you see the stab, the red punctures on the cast. But it's only there. And it's a little smudgy, but not a whole lot.
And it's Alex's blood.
And it's Alex's blood. Yeah.
Previously.
But she's protecting it with her cast.
Very true. Yeah, Beth is in a pure like Snow White bathroom type of thing.
Yeah, and then she escapes because of the heavy cast. She swings it and hits her, which causes her to fly away from her, and that's when Michael Douglas grabs her.
And slams her head to the mirror and breaks it. I don't know if we mentioned this. There's a lot of mirror and window breakage in this movie. Because when he's like chasing her and throwing her around in Alex's apartment, there's like just glass about. There's other like, I don't know if that's necessarily a motif. You could probably tie it loosely back to water or something if you want, but it's just like another mirror bites the fucking dust here and slams her head into it.
Well, glass a number of times is a real palpable barrier. Like when she's looking at the family and gets nauseous, it's through glass. True. And so glass was a potent obstacle to her.
When he's shoving her face up against it. The first time.
When Danny is
there is lots of glass.
Alex is always she's always being bedeviled by glass.
The car crash, certain things. There's something like that.
So.
It's interesting, and I mean, like, whenever Dan's sort of trying to tackle her in the bathtub, I think she does get some blood off Dan, and so it's like she gets her licks in on Dan a bit, but not on Beth.
She can.
Because she slashes the knife and gets him in his shirt, and then I think slices him once or twice, which makes him fall into the tub.
And then he's drowning her at that point, controlling her knife arm, but she gets him a little bit, which I guess I just want to call out because I think that is important. But we sort of see Dan ultimately succeed at killing her. It takes a little bit.
Well, again, he tries to strangle her again. He tries.
This is take 2 in 2 nights.
And she's getting some swings in though because she slices his shirt. He falls in the tub. He kicks her because she's going toward him. He kicks her. She flies back and hits another mirror as her arms fling up and hits all these frames off of the wall. And then as he's running toward her, she swings with all her force, and you hear the whoosh of her because he ducks and she misses, and that's when he grabs her and there's another struggle, and that's when he finally brings her to the tub.
Again, mirrors breaking. I don't know. That is perhaps again. Alex has been 2 simultaneous complicated people this entire time, and now with the mirror breaking, there's no reflection. It's just one. It's just this. So the 2 people are gone, and it's just this Alex now. So
and the choking in the tub is very disturbing to watch.
Her eyes cloud up. It's
that was interesting. Oof. I wondered how they almost did that in the 80s. Like that had to be contacts or some shit. Like where they
just good positioning of the camera and lighting and
cloudy, because and I mean even just her face with the non-cloudy eyes, just kind of looking up, a little bubble escaping or whatever. It's very. It's like the audience is like. You would almost be like, like you root the villain's dead, but it's like such a visceral moment where you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
kinda
it's
like
disturbing.
quiet, unsettling type thing more than anything, really. Like,
Yeah. No. It is, and it's there's no sense of like victory.
Yeah, it's
from
not
it.
fun.
no,
Yeah.
no.
It's not fun
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is Dan putting to bed to rest literally what he
Again-
transgressions or something.
Yeah, and it's just like maybe she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And now
how
she's being
depressing.
strangled in a bathtub. And it's just like, whoa, geez. And it's just like, she was just desperately in love, and now she's being strangled in her lover's bathtub.
Which
It's
is
like,
a very true perspective to look at. And he
Yeah.
did basically a double murder that was also like his fault in many ways. You could sort of lead to whether leading her on or whether doing the whole thing in the first place. Like as a married man, so it's nobody comes out looking like great in this movie unless your name is Beth.
other than Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beth is just could not be more of a badass.
So,
yeah.
Well, okay, and so let's get to this.
Yeah. Let's wrap up the film, shall we?
Yeah. As she's in the bathtub, like they honestly do leave it for a good moment where it's like, I think she's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Is she dead? Or I think she's dead. But then she pops back up.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, alive! Like,
With a wonderful. It's like
It's like now it's a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's a horror film.
but like, not half a second passes and Beth just guns her the fuck down. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Not today, bitch.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because her shooting arm is fine. Like the cast got her non-shooting arm.
And you know what? And that needed to happen. It had to be Beth because Beth is the innocent. And Beth is the one.
And also,
that
it wasn't going to be
should have
Danny.
done it.
It wasn't going to be Danny. Danny's not going to fucking do
couldn't.
anything.
He could not
He
do it.
can't seal the goddamn deal. Of course, it's going to be Beth.
But Beth
Yeah, of
needed
course.
that. Beth needed that. We needed her to do that. She had to have something because look what happened to her family.
Yeah.
She had to do
Well,
that.
it was definitely great cathartic relief for the audience. I would say I definitely love that scene. That was maybe the one time where you could just be like, yeah, woo, yeah, cheer.
And I know you can find recordings from the audience watching
Yeah.
Fatal Attraction in the theater, and when that happens,
Just
of
pop
course,
off.
there's
Yeah.
screaming. It's like watching a horror movie. Everyone's screaming, and then when
yeah.
Beth shoots her, there's huge applause from the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
So I have. Let's wrap this up. But I don't know if you've heard of the alternate ending or the first ending to this movie, because it changes a whole lot, and
Yeah.
Beth is not quite as lionized or as iconized, I suppose I'll say in this.
Yeah.
But Beth, in her stone cold ass, single one shot, like I'm from the country, like with my parents out here in the country house, like shit, just fucking takes her out. And ultimately, can you imagine having to kill your spouse's like shitty hookup?
Well, Kyle, yeah, I can.
I can. see that.
I got a really harrowing tale for you this last weekend. Jeez. Is it-
Off the podcast.
Yeah.
With legal implications.
Yeah.
But it's like a very much like a look what you made me do, Dan. Like, fucking like truly
Yeah.
a hilarious scenario to be put in, like to the thought of it in this movie when it's like.
Well, and again, at the beginning of the film, the moment when Alex and Danny are having the drink together after the storm, and he quips, "Well, whatever happens, you're going to be the one that decides."
Yeah,
and
it's totally up to you, is what he's saying.
and it's just that's just the women that he's drawn to, because Beth was the decider on this as well. I mean, just, geez, yeah. I'm glad he has these strong women in his life, because he's kind of a schmuck. Jeez.
He is like, I mean, we talk about
Jeez.
this like he's just smoking.
Yeah.
Dan frankly is, and like Beth very much like gave me a confidently resigned, like shooting like the Indiana Jones, like a gun to a sword fight like situation.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Glenn Close pops up,
Yeah.
like sword fight. And she's like,
Yeah,
I brought a gun to that.
try it,
Just like,
bitch. Try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk for a moment about Beth. Because Beth, at this point, firmly a saint for going back to Dan. Because although I'm sure the trauma bonding doesn't hurt, like the things she went through with, like, oh my god, a kidnapping or whatever. But like, your man cheated on you with this woman. He indirectly got your child kidnapped. He got.
Yeah.
2 cars wrecked of yours to various
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
100% of your cars, if we're counting.
Yeah, jeez.
Your innocent rabbit was murdered, and now your new house you just bought is haunted because you murdered the stalker in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Now that's your reputation in the neighborhood.
she might be
Jeez.
playing this where she's gonna stalk them from beyond the grave at this point. Knowing how, like,
can't put it past her. You
This
know?
was her plan all along. So like, but poor Beth. I just can't imagine having to be like, I was cheated on, but also kidnapping, 2 cars, house, rabbit, like all these fucking things where you're just like,
I can explain.
I leave you for 1 weekend.
right. One fucking weekend.
One weekend,
Jesus. And he fucks crazy pussy and almost destroys their family and gets her killed and
On that
gets
one
child
weekend, yes.
abducted. Jesus.
Well, there was one thing that we left out, which was after she there's a moment where Dan goes to check on her, and she's in the hospital, and she's there, and he has to do this walk of shame because now, of course, her parents know all the drama.
Yeah, they're giving him the evil eye.
Giving him the evil eye, but he doesn't care. He walks in there. So I'm trying to redeem Beth here because this is what happens, and it's a very touching moment. He walks in there. He is happy that she's okay. He goes over there. Are you okay? The dad gives him the evil eye. The mom really doesn't do much. She's just like, she's in there. And he goes in there, and he falls to his knees, and he is just holding her hand like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. And she looks at him and she smiles, letting him know he's okay. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're okay. Again, when we were talking about no words, it's just all looks. And then her smile fades and it becomes a frown because she's sad. She's like, why did you have to look at what you did to us? And he feels it and he starts, looking down, and her hand grips his hand. And that's when he loses it and starts crying because he's like, that's her saying, I forgive you. I forgive you because, yes, you did this terrible stuff, but because of now the things that are happening really have little to do with you. It's because of what she's doing. You've tried to end it. So all you've really done was this. So now she understands with Alex's craziness. She's like, okay, now I can. That really was not you. Yes, the source was what you did, but I understand, and now I get that she is a crazy lunatic. You had a terrible pick by picking her of all people. So I can get over it because you came to see me, which shows that you cared for me.
Yeah,
and everything else.
Well, what's scary is outside, not inside with them. That the problem is external.
Yeah, so that's how I saw it.
Sure.
Well, it's very interesting. I mean, again, I express through humor marveling at Beth's staying with him at the end, but the last few scenes of the movie are essentially like, wow, like you're just totally like back with him, like what a fun, look at us, a family again type something. And so I partially bring that up to say, do you know anything about the original ending of this movie or what it was going to be?
Yes.
Okay, so you do. Do you?
I do.
I don't actually. No. What?
So this is where I thought the movie was going whenever I saw that silence scene for like 2 minutes when he puts his knife down. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, you just left a knife with your fingerprints on it. So the original movie and plan here was for Glenn Close to essentially take that knife with his fingerprints and frame him as she kills herself while Madame Butterfly plays in the background. Like 1-to-1 almost mapping Madame Butterfly at that point for like, I have committed seppuku and you and your child and wife that you have left me for are now doing this. But the audience fucking hated that. Like it was like an icebox, and it was almost the way they reported that the director and writer were like, it was like we were rubbing people's noses and the characters that they had come to like root for and support had like ultimately failed and whatever. And so this is why Beth gets very lionized in the way, because they did reshoots. They brought it back months later, and Glenn Close fought for weeks or months, I forget here, but she essentially was like, no, I really think my character would have done the suicide, would have done like this, something, it wouldn't have done, she wouldn't have been violent and attacked people, she didn't think she would have attacked Beth, and ultimately they convinced her, like, to do it.
She hated it. She was like, no, this is terrible. That,
but they paid millions of dollars for reshoots and all sorts of things. I'm sure she got her palms greased or whatever, but essentially, what they came to say Beth represented when she shot her at the end and was done was the American family and the saving of that. And so she shot the adulterous whore. This is what I'm telling you. Like, this is where 1987 went, and like where test audiences and like actual like feelings and morals of the time went. They had the lionized American woman who was wrong shoot the adulterous whore, and then was done with it. And essentially, instead of a tragic, sort of more sympathetic look upon Alex, the way the original ending would have went,
and more poetic, like an artistic,
operatic,
it's
and
very operatic. Because in 2014 they brought a stage show back of Fatal Attraction, or back I say, but like they did a stage show of like a Broadway-esque show. They used the original ending in this sense, and so it is it's not like it's disappointing to see that ending of like what I watched, but it was almost confusing or almost too neatly cleaned up. And so when I went looking later, it did make sense to be like, oh, okay, I see like why this would have happened. And they were very much like, people wanted to see Alex punished. Like the director, when he talks about regrets about this movie, was he did see people be like, die whore, like just, like stupid things, or just like very almost. He felt it was a little unsympathetic towards Alex's whatever, but I mean, the writer was like, never saw her as a villain, never something. And so it is a very interesting, like, from the writer's perspective, the person that wrote this story, this is just two almost negotiable points of view or understandable points of view type something versus what we ultimately got a product of in the end.
And the extension of the alternate ending was she was going to know that his fingerprints were on the knife. Fingerprints were on the knife. She was going to kill himself. Then in the story, the cops were going to go to arrest him. As they're taking him away, they arrest him. Beth goes up into his den and finds the cassette and plays the cassette, and it shows proof that Alex, I think, confesses that she's going to kill herself. And so then she takes that to the cops, and then they set him free, and then it ends. Yeah. So when I was thinking of that ending, I thought to myself, I would have been disappointed too, because the suspense and the buildup is so good that would have just been sort of like a kind of ending. I needed a big ending.
I would have hated that ending. I would have hated
it. Really did.
God, I mean, it cheats Alex. It cheats her of her drama and her power, that she exhibits just without restraint in the entire film. And then the
reshoots make Beth a non-passive character as well, because frankly, again, right up until about the end of the movie where the reshoot started, she doesn't have a name. And it is where she gets to be the ultimate killer and the ultimate resolver of justice. And like, they say because people cheered whenever Beth did the line of like, if you come near my fucking family again, I'll kill you, bitch. And so people were like, that was when they were like, we have to reshoot this to be like, oh my God, people love Beth. People love like the reshoot type something. And so it's just interesting from a theory standpoint to be like, if the audience wasn't involved or we didn't have these live reactions where the story would have landed, and it wouldn't have been there. It's fully based on audience reactions where we firmly ultimately landed here.
And the other big controversy with the final ending that they ended up getting, which is the one that we saw, is the controversy was, but she was pregnant, and like everything you were saying, and it was, partly his doing. And so the controversy was, yes, she's a nut job, but he also did it. And then people say, but they both agreed. Who actually did the wrong? Who broke the rule? And they're like, well, it comes down to that discrete agreement. That's what it came down to, and that's where the controversy is, where people agree and disagree. And that's one of the reasons why the movie's made it so big, is people have their theory on it. And I think it's a great way to look at it.
It's just tough because like Glenn Close, again, she really did disagree with it. Like I have a quote from her where she was like, when I heard that they wanted to make me into basically a psychopath where I go after somebody with a knife rather than somebody who was tragically like self-destructive and basically tragic, it was a profound problem for me because I did a lot of research about the character character. Like, and this is an interview with Oprah, so she told Oprah. But so to be brought back 6 months later and be told you're going to be totally changed that character, like, it was very hard. And so she said she fought against it for 3 weeks. I remember they had meetings. She said she was so mad type stuff. So it was a very close character to close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but it's just like, I mean, that is an odd thing to think back, to be like, yeah, to have to come back, like, you're proud of your work, and then like, actually that sucks.
But see, this is where I have to say, you know, when I say fucking actors, is the actors are seeing it as their performance. Everyone else is seeing it as, we have to market this.
Yeah.
We have to do this for as a whole. Yeah, this is where we have to really change things for the sake of the movie.
Yeah.
This is not an art piece that's just going to be there for people to look at. And no, we're making this to make money, and this is what the audience is telling us. So we have to change it. So get over it, actor. You are wrong.
Yeah. And also just to make it just to elevate it, you know, when it's again, I'm just trying to think of all the ways I hate this alternate ending, like to hear it described. It makes Alex just a sad character, and that's it. Just a sad character. It exonerates Danny first by Alex's death, and then by Beth finding the evidence that gets him off the hook. And it's just it's so cliched and cheesy.
That part online,
you know,
but like, I do think it's so when you talk about all of that specifically, the 2014 stage version, the movie they put in, they call out specifically, they made Alex more sympathetic, they made Dan more blameworthy, and they returned to that original ending to the point where, like, it is very Madame Butterfly. But I think it is much more done in the movie, where Dan is a little more blameless and Alex is a little more crazy. But I don't know how much that stems from potentially editing after the fact too, because they might have changed something other side from just a little bit of the ending or whatever. But
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting just to think about the two different ways it could have gone, because one is much more poetic and tragic, where one is more slashery and American-y and like neatly tied up and stuff.
Yeah, it has a neat bow on it and a happy ending and roll credits, and it's just
last year there was another version of it that came out like on Netflix or something.
yeah.
I can't
It's a series.
remember.
It's a
Paramount.
series, yeah.
And Tommy and I watched the first episode. We stopped watching it because it made Alex look like this vixen that's just on the prowl. And the moment she sees Dan, she like does this little flirty, sexy eye thing, and we're like, that's not her.
Yeah.
That's not her. We're gonna not watch this, and we didn't.
I had time to watch ultimately. Like, I found out. I knew that way back in 2015 they developed this with Fox. Like, this was supposed to be like a project that was coming out on the heels of the play. It was like Fatal Attraction's go time, but it took until 2023, 8 years later, that it came out on Paramount Plus. And so I did not watch it because it kind of came out with a whimper as opposed to a big hype bang or something because of that, because it had been kicked around and shuffled and like ultimately whatever. I didn't know they used the same characters. I thought they were trying to tell a different story. So that's interesting to even hear that they're using the same people, I guess. But
we tried to watch a few episodes, and it's just
No, it was the first one that we thought, no, this is all wrong.
yeah, and it's just and the Fatal Attraction. It's 2 hours of opera and poetry and very clever wordplay and symbolism and complex characters with no clear theory to guide how you're supposed to understand it. Like you're just you have to try to figure this out like the characters, and you have only your perspective like the characters. And when you try to take something like that and make a miniseries, it's like diluting poetry to make bad prose, and it just
it was lazy writing. It was like clearly a good guy and a bad guy, and that was
exactly.
Like,
they disambiguated it, and that was the worst part of it. The ambiguity is where that film is where the film lives. It's how just intriguingly ambiguous things are. Like you have things that are contradictory about characters that are happening simultaneously with them, and it makes total sense. And to take that away, it's like what is this now? What is Fatal Attraction without that? I don't know. And that's why we didn't get through the series.
I'm very close, or we're very close. I'm excited to talk about the director because he has like thoughts on sort of this whole genre. He does, like I said, like he has like 13 directing credits, and like half of them are these like movies that are like romantic, stalker, edgery.
He's clearly got something on his mind.
He does, and he talked about it. So, like, let's talk about cast and crew type thing. I really only want to talk about a few people: Michael Douglas, Glenn Close, and then the director type something. I don't think there were too many else that like really jumped out. That had a whole bunch going on here. Beth was kind of a character, and really other than that, you have like schmuck guy. Like, there's not a whole lot. This is a pretty tight like cast movie.
Yeah,
Instead of a small bit. So, like, let's talk Michael Douglas. He played Dan Gallagher in the movie. He's most known for Wall Street, for Fatal Attraction, Romancing the Stone, and he was in one episode of Will and Grace. I only call that out because Glenn Close was also in precisely one episode of Will and Grace. I was reading through their IMDb bullshit. But funny enough, Michael Douglas was filming Wall Street, his other big movie he's known for, at the exact fucking same time as this movie. He would alternate weeks on it, but they were both shot in New York, so he didn't really have to, like, change his look up or like his locale or whatever, but like he was playing Gordon Gekko every other week as he was playing Dan Gallagher here.
Wow,
which is a funny,
that's
interesting
crazy.
note, like,
Wow.
For both of these being quite big cultural touchstones or whatever on that. So he has 68 acting credits, which honestly I found kind of low since he debuted in 1966. Like, he's been doing stuff for a while, but he also has that Martin Sheen, Emilio, vaguely look, something that can pop up here and there. There were a few archetypes of that kind of kicking around, but he's still out there doing this and that. Like, he has a recent Wall Street sequel, and he's in the Ant-Man series of films in Marvel, but he's 80 years old at this time, so like he's still...
And he's still married to Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think.
I don't think so. I think
No?
they divorced around, like, he had, like, oral or throat cancer or something at the time, and then they were also on the outs, but, like, I'm pretty sure he's done with that.
Gotcha.
So,
Didn't know that.
poor him, yeah. He didn't entrap that pussy or whatever.
Hey-oh. Oof. Jeez.
But he's doing that. So Glenn Close, I will call out as she's one of the most 5 Oscar-nominated actresses in history in the Academy. She literally holds the record most times nominated without receiving a win at 8. She's tied with a British man named Peter O'Toole if you were to do actress and actresses, but
yes.
they're both the only 2 that can do that. Do you know who won Best Actress the year that she lost the Best Actress nomination she had for Fatal Attraction?
Who?
No.
Cher!
Oh! Was it for Moonstruck?
It was, I think, for Moonstruck, yeah. Like, she, Cher out there winning Academy Awards. But fucking Glenn Close debuted in 1975 at her first credit and has 106 acting credits, which is more in line with what I'd expect.
Oof, yeah.
Particularly with Michael Douglas or anything, but
Yeah.
she's most known for Fatal Attraction, 101 Dalmatians, The Wife, and also being in exactly one episode of Will and Grace.
She was also recently in The Deliverance.
Yeah.
She's been in so much. Frankly, it's
Yeah.
like, pare that down to 106.
Yeah.
She's been in things from Hook to Hamlet. She also, like Michael Douglas mentioned, is in the MCU. She's in Guardians of the Galaxy as the leader of the Nova Corps, which, unless you're a big old nerd, probably don't care about. If you're a Richard Rider head, good for you. But she is also still out there doing this and that and working, having 7 projects between 2024 and 2025. She is 78 years old, so really putting me to shame. I feel like I'll be retired. Like, whatever, but the economy's shitty, so maybe they're still out there
Yeah.
doing what they need.
Inflation's a bitch.
Get that
Jeez.
mansion mortgage, Glenn. But, again, Glenn Close has lost many Academy Awards, including all of them. So she has a great quote where she says, "I've often been mistaken for Meryl Streep, but never on Oscar night."
Hey-oh.
Funny.
So that's her. Yeah,
That's funny.
She's lovely. But all right, let's talk about Adrian Lin. This fucking guy. Do you know anything
It's
about
pronounced
Adrian?
Line.
Line. Okay, it is
First
L-Y-N.
of all, he knows that.
Yeah. Adrian Lyne.
Adrian Lyne. He really has a type of movie he likes to direct, with it being a sort of risque torrid love affair type thing with some edge. Some films in that catalog that meet that are 9.5 Weeks. He has Indecent Proposal, Unfaithful, Lolita. If you need some sexual-based films in there with some edge.
When Unfaithful came out, they were saying the tagline was, "This time it's her turn."
Yeah, so That's Diane Lane, isn't it?
Yes.
I think so.
I have not seen the 97 Lolita production.
Oh, I haven't either.
I've seen Stanley Kubrick's, which is incredible. But I have not seen this one.
So, you remember how I told you about how I bullied a toddler, right?
Yes, you did mention
Yes.
that. I'm still harrowed by it.
He also bullied fucking Kim Basinger.
Basinger.
Basinger. Sorry.
Look at you know your pronunciations.
During the
Hey.
shooting of that's a Family Guy joke. I'm sorry, where he just fucking like goes, Kim Basinger. He used emotionally manipulative tactics on Kim Basinger during shooting of one of these movies to elicit the performance he wanted from the somewhat new actress, which later got him sort of criticized harshly. I mentioned the yelling of the child bit to make them cry, to mention that he's kind of a hands-on director to tie back to the statements, which is kind of trying to bring it out of them like rags or sponges, those performances, get it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A slap across the face is hands-on, for sure.
So,
Jeez.
just imagine if you're an actor, just the director just screaming at you behind the thing, and then you're crying.
I can totally imagine that. Yes.
Now, film.
Yes.
Now that you're weeping about.
I can totally imagine slapping an actor, throwing a bottle at their head. Yes, all of those things.
I don't know how
yes.
you're gonna think of this.
Yeah.
Real.
Yes.
Would you like to take a moment to
All the time.
to fantasize?
Yes.
You need to pull out one example
luridly
from your,
luridly fantasize about this?
Stupid actor. Well, so Line's frequent exploration of infidelity in his films stems from a fascination with complexities of human desire and the arbitrary nature of adultery. This all comes from an interview and stuff with him. He often presents these themes in a morally ambiguous context, as we have talked about. This is gray. Who made the wrong? Who did the whatever here thing? Whatever. Prompting audiences to question the justification for such behavior and the consequences of giving in to such forbidden passions, which again led into sort of the original ending versus the not. Like it was more like his vision versus this or that. But he talks about a few points of it, like exploring the human condition. He kind of delves into the fragility of relationships, the allure of temptation, which obviously we saw. I mean, like, he was living a perfectly happy life here, Dan, but he was tempted by Alex, and the potential for passion to lead into obsession or revenge, which is absolutely mapped on this movie. He talks about, as another one of his points, moral ambiguity. He loves that. He avoids making easy judgments about his characters, presenting them as flawed individuals driven by a mix of desire, boredom, unmet needs type stuff, which we see in Alex. I mean, she's just she doesn't have a lot going on in her life, and so she just picks that up. He talks about the arbitrary nature of adultery, which is when Lyon stated he is drawn to the idea that affairs can happen unexpectedly, even in seemingly stable marriages, highlighting the unpredictable nature of the human desires. And the last bit is the consequences stuff he talks about, where his films often explore the repercussions of adultery, from emotional turmoil to violence, showcasing the destructive potential of such behavior, which...
Wow.
Seeing his catalog of films, yes, he does. He certainly does.
I would say this has culminated rather completely with Fatal Attraction. So there you go.
And that was, I think, one of his earlier ones. Like, I mean, he did, what is this? Indecent Proposal, Unfaithful. I mean, those things that came later in that regard. So it's certainly all those things. Every one of those maps directly onto.
And Lolita is definitely a very complicated story about an older man's obsession with a underage girl and the complex nature of desire between the two on that. So
I was stunned seeing this guy's catalog. I was like, he has a type.
Well, those are really interesting subjects to write about, to direct.
It makes me wonder what happened in his own life, I guess. I couldn't find that in an interview, but like, if you're writing one movie about infidelity, cool. But if you write 6 or like you're directing 6, there's got to be something here.
It's like, is he trying to work something out? Is he trying to figure something out here?
And before we forget, Kyle, I wrote down something that you wanted a reminder of, something about Michael Douglas playing dead.
Well, I think that was really in part where his, the heart attack, the dying, the father thing we talked about then here.
Oh, okay. Did we already talk about it then?
My notes on this, but
I just wanted to remind you because you said remind me later.
And in that of I think I had that one. So let's talk a little bit about the mull this over at least if you have a moment. Let's talk gayest part of the movie. So,
Yes,
And then we'll talk straightest part of the movie.
Yes.
Whatever. I can go first if we need.
Sure.
I'll give you a moment on that. I wrote
Please.
stuff down. I tended to say the gayest part of this movie was the Michael Douglas to female nudity ratio. Some more Michael Douglas's ass. As I count that as a blessing and win for the gays. And as my straightest part, I sort of had Beth both defending her marriage and in one fell swoop showing off that implied smaller town skill set by just one-shotting Alex with a gun and just blowing her away in an American, representation of the family as stated by the director. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's definitely the most American scene for sure.
Yeah.
Just
I think the gayest part of it was honestly the fight between these strong women, fighting for what they want, and also just Glenn Close going crazy. It's almost like why gay men love Mommy Dearest, and these crazy women that are so strong and just go nuts. We love that. And so what gay person's not going to love that? But if we wanted something simpler, the phone call on the phone with the queen going, "Oh, my place or yours." That was pretty gay. That was
like the gay of the film. Yeah, just a sassy operator.
Yeah. And I think the straightest part of the film was probably like the guys with their banter, him and his friend, just being very, just being very Reagan era. Let's make fun of anything that's not white and American. That was the straightest part of it, because they made fun of the Japanese people and stuff, and just like straight white heterosexual men would do.
the two schmucks.
Yeah. So
White.
those are mine.
Schmucks, sure, yeah. I'm trying to think what the gayest
That
moment.
schmuck friend was a pretty aggressively. I almost hesitated. I thought about that in my straightest part. I don't want to put that upon straight people. I don't be like straight people are schmucks, but he was just a very, iconography, misogynistic, almost uncaring towards many women. And again, this is almost representationally of that generation and era or decade type straight. I'm not hanging this albatross with this millstone on you straight people, but there were a little less sensibilities back in certain eras or generations or decades or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Else of,
Especially during the 80s.
And we cling onto the tiny gay representation we get. I don't know if you heard our Groundhog Day episode.
Yeah.
There's one gay waiter, and I definitely have a headcanon that Bill Murray fucked that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You convinced me. Of it. Yeah.
yours, Tom?
I'm trying to think of an additional gay moment
It's kind of hard. There's really not a lot here to deal with, frankly, because I did have to sort of think long and hard on this type of situation. It's just there's really not much to play with, frankly, in that regard, and so it's whatever. It's 1987. We were barely allowed to be on screen yet.
maybe thinking that you're gonna go to the theater with your love interest after you've shown them that you're an absolute insane crazy bitch. Is that the gayest moment? That might be the gayest
Or
moment.
Alex being a lesbian, well, we had a good weekend together, let's move in, right? Life together starts now, right?
Just short of showing up with a U-Haul, right? Yeah. Yeah, for real. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay, so I have some of this trivia stuff I have covered as we went. I'm getting a little better at doing that as we go. One of the bits Glenn Close wanted to play against type for this movie. This was a sort of different piece for her. She really hadn't played sexy to date. She was kind of more Oscar bait period pieces, this or that, and it was a bit more wild or something for her.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of that. We covered the alternate version, the stage type stuff. We did the show. Yeah, the show was that show was killed in 2017, and 6 years later, Zombie Project is on Paramount Plus, which is why I didn't check it out. Frankly, I was oh, well, it's. You finally carried that to term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to remake this movie because it's so good the way it is.
Yeah.
I agree. And Paramount does too, which is why, again, they bought all the copies of the previous movie that was kind of like it and destroyed them to be you can't make this movie because actually.
That is really
Isn't that wild?
that is
like,
kind of, yeah.
that I had to look it up to be like, is that fucking true? Like, who does that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of why. Like, is like, what's the market strategy, or was it a legal requirement? I don't know.
I guess it just happened back then. Yeah. Like,
Or it was maybe similar enough they didn't want it existing with them wanting to release this, because then they'd be accused of like copying it or like,
because like
or
this is around
rehashing it. I don't know.
The ET video game came out, and then it was so shitty they bought up all the copies and put them in a landfill. So I don't know if you just
That was just
happened. Back
That's just something people did then, just as a dramatic gesture. I'm going to buy up all the copies of it.
landfill.
They're all mine now. Yeah.
Glenn Close is on record multiple times in reviews as saying she has the framed knife from the movie, and it's hanging in her kitchen.
Nice.
She says it reminds
Atta
guests
girl.
to not stay that long.
Atta girl. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Nice.
I found this repeated in at least 6 different sources. I couldn't find an original, but apparently over 20 directors passed on directing this movie where they found it. They even had a couple of bigger names like Brian De Palma and some people attached. But I think the 2 bigger names they had attached wanted Michael Douglas off the project, and they basically picked Michael Douglas over the director.
Okay.
And so they had him to a bit. I do have the people they almost cast as them, and some of these are really fucking funny. It's like, in hindsight, I do really love kind of that, looking at like what the movie could have been if it were like this actress and this actor or something. But we did the Wolf of Wall Street, blah, blah. When reshooting the ending, which again Glenn Close was opposed to, she was like, no, let's not fucking reshoot the ending. Glenn Close got a concussion when her head was slammed against a mirror, and while being treated, she discovered she was pregnant with her daughter, Anna Stark.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa, geez.
And a fun little, like...
Damn.
Sort of dovetail, like, was Alex pregnant or not?
Well,
who knows? But
Glenn Close sure as shit
yeah,
was. Yeah.
Glenn Close fucking was.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right.
1987 was actually the year of the rabbit and the Chinese Zodiac.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
Oh my God.
That's wow. Good job, producers. Yeah, good job.
And yes, the proper UK term bunny boiler for soccer sex came from this movie.
Yes.
Okay.
That's great.
Let's talk about who could have been in this movie. Because the very top of this list name that I saw that were considered for Dan Gallagher and Michael Douglas's part was O.J. Simpson.
Oh my God.
What? Oh my God.
Wow. Oh my God.
Are you shitting me?
I don't know how far that went necessarily.
OG, oh my
It's
God.
definitely on the list because
What?
they have like Dustin Hoffman, Martin Sheen, Dan Aykroyd, like Mel Gibson. They have like a whole giant list.
Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, they have
What?
Sylvester Stallone. Like, there's honestly a massive list where I was like, I don't know how serious this was, but I scrolled that whole list and I was like, OJ, Fatal Attraction, you say, with a knife, like.
Oh my God.
So they talked about a few like people that were some more prominent that were sort of interviewing for Alex, and like they had like Sharon Stone, Ellen Barkin, but like Kirstie Alley came up as a big name. Can you imagine this fucking movie with O.J. Simpson and Kirstie Alley as like Dan and Alex here playing?
Oh my God.
Jeez, what a mess that would have been. God.
If ever you think casting doesn't matter, just go back and look sometimes at who could have played people in your favorite movies. Because
Oh wow.
O.J. Simpson and Kirstie
like-
Alley.
they did say under Alex Sigourney Weaver, which I thought probably could have pulled that off in a decent way. And they have Michelle Pfeiffer and some things, like in like Sharon Stone, whose vag is out anywhere. Like obviously Sharon Stone doesn't give a fuck about if her titties are out in a movie. Like also in that.
Michelle Pfeiffer would have been an interesting choice.
I thought she would have done well. And one of the ones, they don't really mention many for Beth, but one of the ones that they mentioned out of like 2 or 3 I saw was Annie McDowell out of Groundhog Day. She would have done a great, sweet, wronged wife, Beth, frankly.
Oh, that would make sense. She could have,
I could see that.
But I mean, okay, O.J. Simpson, yeah, that's wild. Dan Aykroyd, really?
Well, they have like Arnold Schwarzenegger on the list as long as Tom Hanks. Like, I really wonder like how refined of a list that was. Like, because God, that sounds like a scattershot list type thing. But like,
were they threatening to cast Arnold Schwarzenegger? It's like, oh, just watch me do it. Yeah.
well, they have like Rick Moranis on the list too. Like, you talk about being a like pretty emasculated man. I can.
Oh,
Big,
poor
like,
guy.
tugged and pulled between like this.
Oh man.
Oh, that's wild. Jesus.
Oh.
Okay. It just darkest timeline. Man.
Be thankful.
Yeah.
That movie. Kirstie Alley alone as Alex would have tickled me.
Oh man. Sigourney Weaver. I mean, Sigourney Weaver, great actor. I perhaps.
I could see
Yeah,
her.
I can see it.
It's interesting to think about that.
Yeah.
That one I feel like could have been pulled off. But yeah, like Glenn Close's like eyes in this, like sort of like
Yeah.
manic eye energy is so odd in this movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. Yeah,
I'm trying to imagine any of these other actresses doing the facial expressions like Glenn Close was doing in it that were just. I mean, they were perfect because they didn't so much look just like wackadoo, but just
Like she's there in her head. Like
Yeah.
she's there.
crazy, not like in a funny way, but just like
Mm.
whoa,
Yeah.
damn, whoa,
Something wrong with her.
damn, yeah. That's the thing that I'm trying to imagine Sigourney Weaver doing, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
it's evolving or having that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting, but that's pretty much all I have on trivia bits. Like I said, I covered quite a bit of them as we sort of went there.
Yeah.
Is there anything left that you say or closing thoughts on Fatal Attraction here?
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you to both of you for covering this movie because it's my favorite movie of all time. And also, after this movie came out, there were movies like Basic Instinct, Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yeah.
That tried to go as wacko as this movie, and this movie is untouched. There can be crazy, he cheated on me and this woman is psychotic, but none of them can touch this movie to this day. I have not seen a movie that compares to it when it comes to the fact that it almost turns into a horror movie. So because of that, this movie is just very special to me. And the reason why it's my favorite movie of all time is just because of the structure of it and the building of suspense, building up to the climax is just perfect.
Masterful.
This film builds tension in a way that is so elegant and just so, again, masterfully rendered. There are no supernatural elements, but it sure as hell feels like it could become that at any moment. Just because Glenn Close delivers a performance that is so menacing, but also mysterious too, and this is just all done with good writing and excellent directing, just all these bread and butter elements, but it just.
The performances.
Yeah, but also as we touched on the writing. Oh my God! Just the writing for this film is so just nuanced and intelligent, and it's filled with so much just raw drama, but just granular wordplay in word games. It's very intelligent. It's very sophisticated, and for as wild and passionate as it is, it's still very adult. It's very adult. It's a sophisticated film for adults. And
I would say that even
great.
if there wasn't tits and ass out, it is a very you have to understand the silences, the feelings, the putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, the whole situation of it. It's a very adult movie in that sense, and it's not just because it's vaguely, slightly more graphic at certain points in the hookup scenes, I guess.
Well, it's adult, and it's an adult horror because it invites you to challenge your perspective, which is something that most films just don't do, and they cannot accomplish this. And that's just yet another reason why this film is so brilliant, is that it actually really does. When you think about it, it's just, well, shit, I don't know if there was a clear theory presented about who is right and who is wrong, and I'm not entirely sure that Alex cannot be redeemed, and I'm just not entirely sure that Danny is all that great a guy, and it's just but I am convinced that this is all plausible and this could happen in real life, and just. As crazy a film as it is, it's not supernatural, and it is plausible, and that's
very plausible.
Yeah.
I guess one thing I forgot to mention, the writer Dearden, he talks about how the way this came to him. And I mean, I told you about the original diversion thing, this sort of like 50-minute deal. But the basic concept of this whole thing was just like, what about like the 1 in 100 affairs that don't go like right? That are just like, you know, they're done, they're ended, they're whatever. Like, what if somebody like were to just like hang on or to come back or to just like, this is not a loss of life in the traditional horror film of like, oh my God, look at all those people being slaughtered. This is a loss of your life. This is somebody weaseling their way into your life.
Yeah.
Where you have a wife, a child, a family, a job, all these things that you think are safe.
Yeah, threatening your place in society, either your status or your place in your own family, right? I mean, these are all ways that you could be socially murdered and killed, you know, and that your ability to have the life that you want is denied you, and that's horrifying. I mean, Alex is just racked with existential dread, you know. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and the other great thing is, you know, like when we were talking about earlier about how you take the first 10, 15 minutes and you see someone cheat on their wife, but then somehow you're still invested in the story. You're not throwing it away going, I don't care what happens to him because look at what he did. No, it somehow keeps you invested, and not only invested, but then you're hooked to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that is rare to find in a movie where the lead character does something terrible, you know, and you're still there to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of like lights up. It's not like he's like dead or dull in the first like opening scenes or whatever, but you just see him just having fun, and it's like, okay, let's see where that goes, and then we're good apparently. But as it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, it's an adult horror in the way that, you know, as an adult you realize that pleasure can sometimes blow up in your face. You know, like these little dalliances can sometimes just become crazy things in your life, and in just how things can just spiral out of control, starting from seemingly nothing at all. You know, just. Yeah, again.
Or how you think you're such a small part of somebody's life, you just bungee jumped in, you fucked him or whatever, and you're gone, but now your hookup's obsessed over you or something. Like, it's a very...
Yeah, just...
You can't predict that.
Yeah, again, just a very sophisticated horror film in that the horror is based on misperception. You know, it's not based on elemental evil. It's not based on devils or monsters or anything like that. It's just based on misunderstanding, and it's based on miscommunication, and it's based on embarrassment and just again
with touches of obsession.
Yeah, well, but again, like the darker realms of, you know, the adult experience, like desperation, obsession, frustration, unrequited love, just
So what I would go back to is, if you think about what they planned with the original ending, and basically how Beth was not a character with agency, she wasn't the one gunning him down at the end type something. I almost wonder if they would have given Beth a name in the original cut, because frankly they don't until the very end, and then the same scene where she's like, hi, I'm Beth Gallagher, don't fucking talk to my family, I'll kill you. And it's like, that's the scene where she got applause, oh my god, like, stuff, but like otherwise, if she wasn't to be the ultimate one doing that and to like represent the American family type shit, I don't think Beth's character is ultimately that important to the story most. Like,
with the alternative ending, she would have totally failed the Bechdel test.
Yes.
She would have been about nothing other than the man,
correct, the
main man in the film.
Yeah.
But with the ending that it ultimately had, she actually becomes a fully, she has full agency.
Right.
And just at that pivotal moment when we discover her name / she reclaims her title, you know, I think I am going to watch this film, and I am going to like know when, because it's like, now that you said, it's like, man, I totally miss it, and that's an important part of the film actually, and I actually totally miss this.
It's taking, because if I'm like trying to like, capture their name down, because I'll fuck it up. I'm off, and I'm like between I'm like Bill Murray, Phil or whatever. Like, am I going to stay? And that's why I'm just like, why do I have mother / wife for like this whole fucking movie written down for her? So interesting.
Yeah. Very neat. Cool. All right. Well, did we
think that's probably
Okay.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
this film doesn't have a sequel, does it? There's not a,
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Not, some films just don't need a sequel.
Which,
and,
you know, good. I just, God, yeah, like every movie I pick out, I'm like, oh, there's another one. There's something after that. Like,
I don't want this film rebooted. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want a 2025 version of it. It's perfect as it is.
I agree.
pretty neat, honestly.
So-
Like I said, it was one of my blind spots. I had not seen it to date, and so I always enjoy seeing something I've not seen. I do think it was a fun ride and a very interesting, suspenseful thriller in that regard. It was just a cool thing. Like I only knew Glenn Close through like child shit, like the 101 Dalmatians or whatever, because like I remember playing 20 Questions with my parents in the car, and I had Glenn Close in my mind, and they were like, "Is her hair blonde?" And I was like, "Nope," because I was thinking of her black and white hair from Dalmatians 101 or something. And like, ultimately, they were like, "What the fuck were you talking about?" Like, when all these questions I confidently answered about Glenn Close as like an 8-year-old or something. It's like the one acting role I knew her in, and they were like thinking probably of this movie and others. So they were like, "What the fuck are you?" Okay. But I knew she was great, even as a child, yeah. So, but yes, that's about all we have to say on this. I know we discussed a couple of movies potentially coming down the pipeline. I know you had a fervor in your heart to watch Armageddon.
Yeah.
First movie
Yeah.
you cried at, so we can take a look at that
Wow.
one together.
Wow. We'll be approaching that from different perspectives, won't we?
I think that could be fun to do for today.
Well, you know what? I cried when I saw it too. So there. So
When
there
was
you
the last
go.
time you
There
saw
go.
it?
Oh gosh, it must have been at least 15, 20 years.
Okay, yeah.
I was like a middle schooler when I saw it.
Oh.
I was like, Bruce Willis sacrificed himself for Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah, we'll probably have the same reaction when I introduced it to him like 3 years ago, and I thought, yeah, no, this did not age well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah.
We may put a brief hate episode together on a movie called Bring Her Back that unsettled us to our core. I think it meant to, so I don't think it missed its mark necessarily, but it was very uncomfortable.
It off-put me to my core.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
I was very off-put for a reason I don't want to give spoilers for
If
this.
that was their goal, they nailed it.
Yeah, but for one particular reason, I was very off-put.
So those
Yeah.
are two that may be in the mix. I don't know. Maybe a movie like Barbarian or something else could be fun to do.
I don't know. I gotta say, I feel like we need to correct a certain imbalance. We have reviewed some films that just have white casts, just white casts, and
my
nothing but
God.
white casts. I think we need to address this with our next film. I feel.
Literally have down. I was like,
So.
after we did Groundhog Day, I thought back and I was like, was there a single non-white person in that movie? And I don't think so. Like, I genuinely do not think there was.
in Groundhog Day, I don't think there is.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
I
Yeah,
combed that movie. I watched it twice.
Yeah.
I was thinking back to all the scenes.
yeah,
I don't think there is.
yeah.
An interesting point to bring up in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think we need to.
Well, you heard it here first. We're doing Sinners next.
Well, we need a film that's not just creamy white, just like white as a jar of mayonnaise. We gotta address this.
very true.
So stay tuned. More to come. All right. Well, Israel, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us. We always enjoy your
Yes.
cinematic insights.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good film, and I'm glad we could take a look at one of your favorite pieces.
Yeah.
As mentioned, when having guests on, we let them pick the video. Because
Yes,
we want
yes.
them to enjoy it, be passionate about it, talk about it, and have all sorts of fun things to say. And so when we have other guests on, they will be picking their own film.
Yeah.
If you think it's a dumb movie, take it up with them.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna let you send hate mail to them.
Yeah.
We'll give you their home address and a list of all their fears. So
But as always, if you want to send feedbacks and whatever, talk about how much you love, hate us, the guest, anything, how dumb our movie selections are, and
how terrible our interpretations are, how intellectually unrigorous and
how unmelanated our choices are, anything you choose, really.
Yeah.
Tommy's not wrong.
yeah. We got to fix this. So yes.
But we thank you as always for listening, and we will have you along for another ride the next time. We will let you know. Of course, there will be the email to reach out to, comments, feedback, video stuff. But we will be back. And so until next time,
Yeah.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Tommy, and this has been.
And Israel, is there anything actually, I forgot. Do you want to plug anything? Is there anywhere people can follow you on social media? Is there any project stuff you're doing,
yes.
type things that you would like to shout out?
Yes, the Gayborhood 6-episode series that I'm doing through the Dallas Voice LGBTQI plus newspaper is going to start coming out Pride Month, which is next month in June. And I am also going to be, I think, releasing by the end of the year a new and updated rebranding of Ticked Off. Yeah, with a new title, and also my film Businesswomen. Yeah.
I love businesswomen.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You're debating maybe like ticked off T-girls with knives, or maybe just totally different
Totally
title.
different, I
Is
think.
Willem in that one, or is she?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Willem is in that one.
Yes, Willem, noted drag queen, belligerent presence in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also Le Chancla del Diablo.
Chocolate del Diablo, which is out now.
Film. And what are you under? Are you Luna Moon on Spotify or stuff? Or
Yes.
Yes.
Luna Moon, Loona Moon, Moon. Look up the album Slutroactive.
Yes.
Retroactive.
Israel has a concept album out.
I sure
Yeah.
do. It's a novelty album. It's a little on the naughty side.
Yes.
So if you like naughty and you also like synthwave 80s type of vibe, but modern, you're gonna love the album.
Yes.
It's got a lot of earworms. I would encourage you.
It is largely not safe for work, so be careful. Be careful about where you loudly blast it.
Do not play this with your children in the car.
or do, I don't know. Just they're gonna do some growing up real quick. So yeah, just be warned. Anyway, my name is Tommy.
I'm Kyle.
Israel.
Yes, and you've been listening to Video Head Cleaner. So
Until next time. See you later.
bye everyone.
Bye.